WWF South Africa's fourth Journey of Water is taking place in the strategic catchment area of the Riviersonderende. Is that right? In the Western Cape.
Riviersonderende.
Got it. Close. Yeah. Okay. It's in the Western Cape, and it's also the same river that feeds into the Theewaterskloof Dam, the largest dam in the Western Cape. It holds 40% of Cape Town's water supply. Can you believe it?
Yeah, indeed it does. We spoke about this not so long ago when there were the drought situations in Cape Town. We used to talk a lot about the Theewaterskloof Dam. But our SABC team is joining WWF SA on this journey, and this week they'll be sending us updates over the next few days regarding what's happening there. And they spoke to Christine Colvin, who's head of WWF SA's freshwater programs, to find out more about this initiative.
The Journey of Water is all about the idea that water doesn't come from a tap. Ultimately, water comes from nature, and the natural areas, the catchments and the water source areas, which is where our water comes from, are really, really critical. And at the moment, on the whole, they're not being well managed. So in this year's Journey of Water, we're going to be going to an area that was really affected by the Cape drought and is the source area for the Theewaterskloof Dam as well, on the Riviersonderende River. And that area, I mean, we saw the impacts of the drought as the Theewaterskloof was drying up last year. And if we're going to be ready for future droughts, it's really important that we look after these water source areas, as well as learning to save water in the cities in which we live. And so this year we're particularly looking at what are the opportunities. You know, it sometimes sounds a lot of doom and gloom. You know, aliens are invading our catchments and using up all of our water. But there are lots of opportunities that go with the maintenance of this ecological infrastructure. So we're going to be visiting a nursery, a local community nursery, where they are growing local plants to restore and rebuild the natural river systems, make sure that they keep flowing and delivering clean water downstream. So we've been encouraging the private sector to get really actively involved, to start supporting not just with funding, but also showing how new jobs can be created in the catchment economy. And we're really encouraging people during the Journey of Water and following National Water Week, find out where your water comes from. We've got a website called journeyofwater.co.za, and people will be surprised where their water source areas are, because it's often very remote from where you are. We're going to be visiting one of South Africa's 22 water source areas, and there was work that's been published in the last week by the Water Research Commission, research that was done by the CSIR, that helped to define where our water comes from, where are our water source areas. And there are 22 around the country, and we have a very special focus on those because we think that that is some of the most important ecological infrastructure that we need to maintain and manage well to ensure our future water security. So we're particularly focused on the Boerland water source area. That's of course where Cape Town gets most of its water from, as well as the winelands and the irrigation farmers as well. So it's a critical source of water for the economy of the Western Cape, and we're going to find out what's going on there, who's coming to the party to solve some of those problems, and how so much of it is far removed from where we expect it to be.